Hi, you guys. It's MJ from All to Love. How are you? Nice to see you this morning. I'm sleeping again, which is really wild and kind of cool and fun and a little different. Some of you might know I took quite a big leap in my life 3 years ago, and my sleep patterns got really like out of whack, and I started waking up anywhere between like 1 in the morning and 5 in the morning, just consistently, no matter what time I went to bed. And like actually just in these last like few days, since I had quite a monumental shift from going back to Canada recently, and this shift has brought up some mucus for me to clear out of my body. And I also just feel really different. It's a little bit undescribable. You guys know I like words and I speak for a living, so I am noodling with the sort of the tangibility of the feelings right now of like this new energy, this like feeling very much in a new space as a new person, like rebirth, like totally tangible rebirth feelings. And so there's a whole bunch of chaos and shit and stuff that we're not carrying with. And um yeah, I just feel really different, present, adult, and yet kind of like innocent and free in this life. So it's extraordinary, ultimately. And this morning, what came through for a share for this community is the paradox, the system of control. And the reason this paradox came about from within was that I was like, well, here we are talking about being the creators, right? We're here talking about being little mini gods and goddesses, that we really are the creators of our reality. And then I was thinking about like, well then what is the system? Like what is this weird control system that appears to enslave us? And I was like, well, it's our own. It's our own control issues. It's our own fear of the power that we are. And there's an amazing quote from A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson, and it goes a little something like this. It is my light, not my darkness, that most frightens me. Or it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. It is not my fear of being inadequate. It is my fear of being powerful beyond measure. And so it is ultimately that fear of our own power that we resist. And so we perpetuate the illusion of the system of control and domination. Now, when you externalize that fear over multiple generations, it can feel a bit confusing. It can feel a little bit like what the actual is going on. And this is sort of where we are. The system as we know it, so these are my notes for this share as well. So control, everybody talks about like fear is an illusion. Fear is not real. Okay, so if that's the case, then control isn't real either. Control is an extension of our own fearful delusion. So all aspects of control and manipulation externally, even when it comes to our own body, is an illusion. We've created it for whatever purpose. And as I say those words, I'm like, we created it so that we could figure out how to unravel it and be like, guys, guess what? I figured out. I'm pretty sure you can figure it out too. I.e., we don't have to be slaves to this world, this paradigm that we all kind of co-created, and yet a lot of it in my awareness was kind of created in a cunning fashion, in a kind of covert way, like a lot of deception. Deception is deception for a reason. It's clever, it's cunning. It like we're like, oh, it's so shiny, it's so pretty, I want that stuff. And then you're like, yeah, the devil's inside because that's not the light, it's not the truth of the way. So yeah, so I was like, okay, so fear is an illusion, then anything that extends from fear is an illusion as well. That means fear, rather, that means control, domination, um, bitterness, resentment, whatever, any of those kind of low level, divisive, controlling energies, i.e., restricted, limited, small, contracted, that's an illusion. It doesn't make it less real though. This is like another topic of conversation, I suppose. But like when we say illusion, it doesn't mean that it's not a real experience. Okay. Like I think sometimes people are like, oh, it's all an illusion. What's the effing point? And I'm like, well, yeah, but you're still having the experience. Just because it's an illusory experience doesn't make it any less valid. I'm gonna like embrace this totality as a soul. I'm gonna embrace the fullness of my experience here. I don't just want to disregard or invalidate my existence because it's an illusion. I'm like, the illusion bit makes it fun. Is That's what makes it. That's what makes us we can lighten up around all this, right? We can actually like chill a bit. Chill, Winston. Um okay, and then so that's an illusion. It does not truly exist, right? And then of course, all powerful beings would create that illusion. So if you are so mega powerful that you can do anything and be anything, wouldn't it be clever to create the illusion of less than? Wouldn't it be clever or just interesting to see, I wonder what would happen if we pretended to be actually very limited indeed? Or should we try? Okay, let's go. And like and then hence we veil. We have all these veils. We have all these fragmented aspects that we put outside of self to finally cycle by cycle, pattern by pattern, experience by experience, we slowly connect different dots, which up level our experience of this humanity. It's always one. It's always one collective experience, even though it appears to be all separate. Oh, and then that's something as well. Like part of this up leveling the paradox is that there seems to be within the despair. I shared this, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. This deep disappointment, this sort of despairing depression that a lot of people are in, but they're very aware of being in it, and they're just like, what is this energy and why is it so dense and why is it so intense, and blah 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 blah. It's that again, we're clearing ages, cycles, many patterns of this global enslavement system, and it's our own. So it's in our beingness that we're clearing it, hence feeling. And then another angle to all of this deep despair for a lot of people is okay, so there's like this deep despair, and then people are sort of floating into like, what is any of this, and what's the point, and who am I, and what am I doing here, and why am I, why would I try to create any of this, and what's the point, and just this sort of apathy and like, yeah, mainly apathy actually, but again with awareness, this spatial awareness. So I'm apathetic right now. I feel apathetic. Great. Good to know that's there. But it's not none of the stuff that I talk about per se when we're moving through the energies that I'm talking about here. It's not comfortable. I'm not here sitting going, what? It's super fun. It's super easy. Just sit there in your funky shit and pretend like it's fun. Like there's an aspect of that. There's a lightness around like, we all have this deep karmic, and whether we call it karmic or not, it's energy. Okay. So in this here now presence, we have energy, highs and lows, and dense and expansive, and on a collective note, the entire of the human mass is moving up the vibrational ladder. Hence why we're shining light on full disclosure around the injustice or the uh, corruption in pharmaceutical industry, corruption around modern medicine, corruption around our education system, corruption around our political system, corruption around our economic system. So we're living in time of disclosure because we are awakening. The heart of humanity is awakening and calling out the bullshit, because it's our own bullshit. It's our own lies. It's our own fakery. It's our own power over one another. And as soon as that karma hits us, if we truly honor it and process it, we're not going to want to repeat those lessons again. That's just, any of you who have done transformational work can totally validate that as a reality, as a truth of your own beingness, that once you truly learn the lesson, you don't want to go back. You don't endeavor to go back into that trauma, right? Because you're like, I see what you are. And I see how I played into that. That's the whole, all this BS. And it's not BS at all. It's totally valid. It is all valid. But I like joking about this heaviness as well. But I know I've noticed this happening, or a lot more people are just throwing out these terms like, oh yeah, they're such a narcissist, or oh yeah, Narcissist. What's the other one? I have this happening a lot to me as well. People going, oh no, no, like I'm pure empath. Like I'm such an empath, and my intuition is like, I don't know, like because I'm not one for labels, right? Hi, Savita. Mirshandani, nice name. Hi, learning a lot of lessons. Yeah, it's just relentless. And that is something, again, that is reflected back to me with the work that I do with other humans. Um, it can be relentless. There's people that I've been working with for probably up to 2 years now. And, 2 years in navigating full transformation. These are people that didn't make little changes, obviously, because I'm still working with them, right? 2 years in. It's that these are people who have basically transformed every area of their life. Um, and potentially had some sort of intensive depressive or anxiety spells, panic attacks, like mental breakdowns, total life breakdown. And it's like, heh. And now, for whatever reason, working with All to Love, working with this energy here, it's like it allows people to soften. It allows people to practice deeper self-love and deeper self-compassion. But never am I someone that's going to make it um never am I someone who's going to want to add more illusions to the mix, as in it is relentless. And so is being a slave. So is being disempowered. That's a relentless discipline to fear. Now all we're doing is transforming our mental capacity to have a relentless discipline to love, which means every darkness, every light, every up, every down, every you're an amazing, beautiful being to like you're kind of a shit little dick. Sorry. I'm not sorry though. But like it's like we want to my practice in truth is that I love the totality of my beingness. So I love all my shady shit as much as I love all my awesome stuff, but I choose to focus on my awesome stuff because that, well, really simple and selfish because it feels better. Hi Jazz, how are you, my friend? Really nice to see you guys this morning. I'm late to the pass. As I said, I'm weirdly sleeping. I woke up at 4 and I was just super tired. So I went to sleep. um, and then I slept for like another hour and a half, um, or more. Could it be? Yeah, I just slept for like another 2 or 3 hours because now it's, um, yeah, anyway, sorry, I just got distracted. Hi, Shiki Kilifra, how are you? Nice to see you. Love your Instagram IGTV updates. Okay, I think that's it, you guys. I covered all of my notes, as it were. Yeah, so our own personal mental slavery is like the system, the global political, educational, like so there's all these like aspects, the fragmented aspect of self that we've put in these authority slash like systematic power over. But actually we're reclaiming that. So we're going to see more disclosure. And then what we're seeing and feeling in the self is we're step by step, cycle by cycle. We don't need to like put no pressure on each other, but in truth, what's happening is more and more of us are coming into unity. We're coming into sovereignty. We're coming into true harmonious balance within the self, which means we then radiate that and we create that in our field. So the more of us creating that lovely harmonious stuff in our field, the more other can see that exemplary, can see that example. It's like be the change you want to see. Vibrate is the true teacher. Vibration teaches, words don't teach, so a lot of us is like us going in us going into that honesty and transparency of our truth, and then vibrating that unity and balance into our human experience. It's quite radical, I'm not gonna lie. Hi John, how are you? Yeah, it's quite radical. This is part of my experience of polarity, but also in isolation, hence us reaching out, finding soul groups, soul families that are aligning, wherever we are in the world. The fact that we have connections on the internet is an amplification of self. Yeah, more like weeks, true that. I know. It is like this though. It's ebbs and flows, it's cycles. So we feel the density and expansion through different cycles. There's, in essence as well, there's no point in us rationally trying to figure it out. I'm not trying to put these into specific timelines and containers for you guys. I just share en flow. the experience, because I recognize that there's a helpful exchange with all of us showing up in this capacity, without the facade of 3D programming, without the kind of like um, trying to be special and important egoic projection. It's just on flow. It's just like, hey, how are you guys today? This is what I'm feeling like. This is what's coming through, whether it's through me or through clients or through besties and inner circle energy. It's the fact that we're all connected, right? Have a good night, Jazz. Much love to you, my friend. It's for us to get the dreams moving on flow. That's right. Now, and being aware that they're moving on flow always. They're always moving on flow. It's only the resistance of the mental trying to control it that weirdly keeps it apart from the truth of our experience. So yeah, balance is part of this co-creative new world, new earth. And then we will sort of hold space for ourselves, for one another, and ultimately for the human collective, because the actual old 3D paradigm is just continuing to crumble. It's like continuing to fall. The fear of the past, or if we pick up the fear, but not but like as well, that becomes more discerning. And as in, this is my personal experience, is that the more we integrate, so i.e. the more we're just in the present, because when we're truly fixed in our present field, there is no past and future. What we want to kind of grapple with is the fact that even the idea of past life, and by the way, this has come through one of you guys, Rochelle. You guys might know Rochelle from different channels as well, but this came through as far as a different insight. Now, I tend to work with people as well. It's just like reflections. It's like we all have a unique essence. We all have unique offerings. So we share those offerings and then we feedback off of them. And there is this sort of feedback essence around regression therapy, ancestral work, knowing all of our past lives, and da da da. And then I was like, but I think that's, and this again came through Rochelle first, of like, I think that's like, because still, even if we're recalling, i.e., having a memory or having a remembrance of a past life, it's always here now. So we're only ever in the here now presence, and potentially, and I wouldn't say it's past or future, it's just multidimensional. It's that we can have a recall of like a different experience happening on a different level of our beingness, but fully to be as powerful in the here now as we want to be, we want to bring it into the now. So that's an aspect of my consciousness sort of running a timeline, which I might perceive as past if I'm wearing certain clothes and certain events are happening that relate to certain historical events of our human collective experience. And yet I'm not going back to that time and like retracing. No, I'm remembering it now. So it's now. It's happening now. There's no past, there's no future. That's a constructed experience. That's a constructed reality. And again, it's part of the illusion. It's part of right, the separation of ourself. And so the more we come into unity, the more we align with the truth of our knowing. And then that truth of our knowing creates a greater sense of balance. And then that's what projects into the field a bigger harmonious bubble of love, around us. So I hope that was useful to you guys. Waves of love. That's interesting. That came through. I was meditating yesterday and I was like doing that, like the shining heart, the mental clarity, and then like the rocking back and forth. That happens a lot, weirdly, in my meditation. Not a lot. Yeah, a lot. Like as in one out of 5 or 1 out of 4 every time I sit to meditate, eventually I find myself like Avatar, just like because there's some goodness. There is some good flow coming through. And I just don't stop it, right? So there's like this sort of, it's kind of meditative and trance-like, actually. So thanks a lot for joining in. I have heard of that person, by the way, Chiquique Libre. So this is something that's interesting. It's like I want to reiterate, and it's all of this comes from a really loving place. I don't actually watch other stuff. I don't watch other teachers. I don't listen to. The last teacher that I was engaged with was someone named Antonia Massaro. And that was way back. That was before I published the book. That was like maybe 2014 or 2015. Since I took these leaps, I've gone into pure self-study. So I was guided to Mary Magdalene manuscript in 2017, which I picked up, scanned it, and then put it down. I picked up the information I needed. Yeah, exactly, chic équilibre. So I listen to your own inner guidance. And what I have to say is that par for the course, so you guys in my field, everyone that is attracted to Ultra Love TV is a leader, is like has all this stuff, all this intuitive knowing. You have it. It's in you. You're a leader of the new paradigm. And yet my observation is that we have these almost like these like cycles that are pretty similar for all of us. So we have an awakening experience which shatters our world, our old world perspective shift. And then we tend to start to gravitate away from mainstream culture and we gravitate toward YouTube, alternatives, spirituality, blah, 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 blah. And then a lot of times where we're all meeting is the fact that like a lot of these spiritual channels in my personal awareness are potential distractions. I'm not talking about this person you're talking about per se, because I don't know them. I don't listen to them, but I'm so aware in my own world that there's so many distractions that I don't go there. I don't listen to other people's teachings. I'm pure intuition, which I know is radical. I know from 3D perspective, they're like, what? You don't read up on your da-da-da. I'm like, no, I did all of that. I spent the last 15 years studying in great depth the science and the spirituality, which I talk about today, right? That was my awakening. And then I just gravitated. I've been guided by my heart. I've been guided by intuition. And like, I have been guided to books and study and research and courses and blah, blah, blah. And then one day it just stopped. I just didn't want to anymore. I was like, I don't want to learn that. I just want to learn this. Hence, if we are the one soul creator, everything in my experience and everything in my world is teaching me. I don't need to seek teachings via other. I am the teacher and the student of my own life experience, right? Where magic happens. Woo! And I'll always empower you all to be your own master, basically. Like, you don't have to give anybody more power than you, because they don't actually have more power than you. They don't know anything that you don't know already. I'm not saying anything new here, I'm speaking from my heart, which is why there's a lot of relatability, which is why there's a lot of people from different parts of the world find the energy, because you relate to the heart speak. It's like the word of God. You relate to the vibrations that emanate from the heart versus like any weird control tactics, i.e. the paradox of the system of control. I'm just somebody who sort of dissolved the illusion of her control outside of self. And I'm only working with the inner energies of biofeedback resonance, Woo! Yoga help and pro gliding. I want to try that for sure. And I tried some fun toys back in Canada, which I also want to. Paragliding. Paragliding does. So does surfing, chic. Come to Morocco. You know that I had to cancel the paragliding retreat, eh? It's not meant to be this year, and that's probably for the best, but yoga and surfing is also good. So come to Morocco. Your français would go very well in Morocco. And it's not until October, so there's time to save. And guys, and we're getting close. Karen and I are getting really, really close to Kauai. So Kauai dates are getting laid down. I can't believe it. I didn't even know how this has happened. I now apparently have 3 retreats coming up. I have Morocco in October, another Morocco in February, and then Kauai, which has just been totally guided. And I'm so excited to know that I'm going to be meeting a bunch of you badass lovers in Hawaii, which has been like this destination in my field, and yet not like trying to force anything. And then Karen's like, we should do it here. And I'm like, booyakasha, let's go for it. And I'm really excited to hold space and meet. It's just so divinely guided. And let's be honest, this year has been such a crazy, tough year. And like so many of us have been bombarded by deep, dense energies that were a little bit unexpected. But now halfway into the year, hi, June, halfway into the year, it's a little bit like, hey, fine. You don't want me to control anything? Whatever. Bring it. Bring it. Bring me the manifestations. As in, I can deal with anything that the universe is going to bring to me. I have been through enough. Do you understand? No, it is like that though, right? Hi, call 420. Yo, 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 yo. Um, you guys are awesome. I think that's it for me today. I just have a little ramble about some topics of discussion, which I think are relevant to our human experience as creators. Um, Ideally, moving into like this heart space of like we're safe here. But we're not safe if we're vibrating a whole bunch of love or a whole bunch of fear. If we're vibrating a whole bunch of fear, we create more fear, you guys. But then projecting fear is different than transforming fear. Well, let's talk about that another day. I wish you all very awesome, awesome energies today. Chic équilibre. It must be like in the middle of the night for you, my Quebecois friend. It is night for you. Night for you. Good night. I love you guys so much. I find it such a joy to be here with all of you whenever I go live. I am and I look forward to speaking to you guys soon. I hope that was useful. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for your subscribes, your comments, and all of that. High on life. Me too. I look forward to speaking to you guys at some point soon. Much love. Check out altalove.com if you want to subscribe for updates. And potentially little deals and coaching packages. And of course, the retreats, which I said are Morocco in October, Morocco in February next year, and then Kauai in June 2020. So that's going to be an epic gathering. I so hope that you guys can join us. So, and you're so beautiful, Chic Équilibre. Have a beautiful day, my friends. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Peace out. Bye.